Welcome to Proofless, the true crime podcast that plunges into the heart of America's most perplexing, unsolved mysteries, cases where the evidence is scarce, the leads are frustratingly elusive, and the truth remains just beyond our reach. I'm your host, Anna Berger, and this is our 13th episode, a milestone that fills me with gratitude for the incredible community of listeners we've built. Your emails, your passionate discussions on social media, and your thoughtful engagement on our website are the driving force behind this show, pushing us to keep shining a light on stories that demand justice. Your commitment to seeking answers for those lost to mystery inspires us every day, and I can't thank you enough for joining us on this relentless pursuit. Today, we're diving into a heartbreaking case that has haunted a small Ohio town for over 3 decades. The 1989 abduction and murder of Amy Mihaljevic, a 10-year-old girl who vanished from a bustling shopping plaza in broad daylight, only to be found months later in a remote field, her killer still at large. This is a story of a child's innocence, a community's shattered sense of safety, and a family's unending quest for closure. So, settle in for a deep dive into a mystery that lingers in the realm of the proofless, where the answers are just out of reach. Let's set the scene. It's October 1989 in Bay Village, Ohio, a serene suburb on the shores of Lake Erie, about 15 miles west of Cleveland. With a population of around 15,000, Bay Village is a quintessential small town. Tree-lined streets, well-kept homes, and a close-knit community where neighbors wave and kids play freely in parks. It's the kind of place where doors are left unlocked, and parents feel safe letting their children walk to school or ride bikes to the local shopping center. The late 1980s are a time of relative innocence in Bay Village, with community events like fall festivals and high school football games defining the rhythm of life. The town's low crime rate, just a handful of burglaries and no homicides in recent memory, reinforces its reputation as a haven for families raising children. Amy Renee Mihaljevic, born December 2nd, 1978, is a vibrant 10-year-old who embodies the spirit of Bay Village. The daughter of Margaret and Mark Mihaljevic, Amy is the younger of 2 children with an older brother, Jason, age 12. With her blonde hair, blue eyes, and infectious giggle, Amy is a 5th grader at Bay Middle School, known for her curiosity, kindness, and boundless energy. She's an avid reader, devouring Nancy Drew mysteries, and dreams of becoming a veterinarian, a passion fueled by her love of animals, especially horses. Amy takes riding lessons at a nearby stable, where she's learning to care for a chestnut mare named Sundance and spends hours sketching animals in her notebook. At school, she's a star in art class, a member of the choir, and a favorite among teachers for her bright smile and eagerness to help others. At home, on Wolf Road, a quiet street lined with ranch-style houses, Amy shares a bedroom filled with stuffed animals and posters of ponies, a space where she and Jason bicker like typical siblings, but also share a close bond. The Mihaljevics are a typical middle-class family. Margaret, in her late 30s, works in marketing for a Cleveland-based firm, balancing her career with motherhood. Mark, also in his 30s, is a construction supervisor, often working long hours but devoted to his kids. The family is active in the community. Margaret volunteers at school events, and Mark coaches Jason's Little League team. Amy's life is filled with routine joys, bike rides to Bay Village Shopping Center, a small strip mall a mile from home where she and friends browse the pet store, grab ice cream at Dairy Queen, or buy candy at Mark's Grocery. The shopping center, with its parking lot and cluster of stores, is a safe gathering spot for kids, a place where parents feel comfortable letting them go unsupervised in 1989. On October 27, 1989, Amy's day begins like any other. She wakes early, eats breakfast with Jason, cereal and orange juice, and heads to Bay Middle School, a short walk from home. It's a crisp fall Friday with leaves turning red and gold, and Amy is excited for the weekend. She's wearing her favorite outfit: blue jeans, a green sweatshirt with a horse graphic, white sneakers, and a denim backpack slung over one shoulder. After school, around 2:45 p.m., Amy and Jason walk to the Bay Village Shopping Center, a routine they've followed for months. They plan to look at puppies in the pet store window and maybe get a treat. The plaza is busy with after-school activity, kids milling about, parents running errands. Amy's friend, Sarah, joins them briefly, but leaves to meet her mom. Around 3:30 p.m., Jason notices Amy talking to a man near the pet store, but he's distracted by a friend and doesn't think much of it. When he looks again, Amy is gone. He searches the plaza, checking the pet store and Mark's, but she's nowhere to be found. Panicked, he calls Margaret from a payphone at 3:45 p.m. saying, "Mom, Amy's gone." Margaret rushes to the shopping center, arriving by 4 p.m. She searches frantically, calling Amy's name and asking passersby if they've seen her. The Mihaljevics contact the Bay Village Police Department, and officers arrive within minutes. Led by Chief David Wright, the police treat Amy's disappearance as a potential abduction, a rarity in Bay Village, and call in the FBI's Cleveland field office, given the possibility of an interstate crime. A command post is set up in the plaza parking lot, and officers interview witnesses. A store clerk recalls seeing Amy near the pet store with a man described as white, in his 30s, with dark brown hair, medium build, and wearing a beige jacket. Another witness, a teenager, reports a man loitering near the bike racks watching kids, but no one saw Amy being taken. Her neon green bike is found unlocked behind the plaza, its kickstand up, suggesting she was interrupted mid-ride. The police set up roadblocks on Lake Road and Wolf Road, stopping cars to ask about Amy, while volunteers distribute flyers with her school photo, a smiling girl with bangs and a dimpled grin. The community mobilizes with astonishing speed. Bay Village residents, stunned by the abduction, join search parties, scouring parks, wooded areas, and the rocky shores of Lake Erie. The FBI deploys agents to canvass the plaza, collecting security footage from Mark's, but the 1989 cameras are grainy, capturing only the store's interior, not the parking lot. Helicopters sweep the area, and divers search the lake, fearing Amy was taken to a nearby body of water. Tips flood the police hotline, a blue van seen speeding away, a man matching the description at a nearby gas station, a child's scream heard near the plaza. None pan out. Margaret and Mark appear on local news, pleading for Amy's return, their faces etched with fear. The story spreads beyond Ohio, hitting CNN and America's Most Wanted, which airs a segment on November 4th, 1989, generating national attention. The Mihaljevics offer a $25,000 reward for information leading to Amy's safe return, funded by community donations and their savings. The investigation takes a devastating turn on January 21st, 1990, when a jogger finds Amy's body in a remote field off County Road 11 in Ashland County, about 50 miles south of Bay Village. The site, a desolate stretch of farmland surrounded by woods, is far from any major highway, suggesting the killer knew the area or chose it for its isolation. Amy is partially covered by snow, wearing the same jeans, sweatshirt, and sneakers from October 27th. The coroner, Dr. Amy Z. Burney, determines she died shortly after her abduction, likely within hours, from multiple stab wounds to the neck and a severe blow to the head with a blunt object. Evidence of sexual assault is present, adding to the horror. No murder weapon, a knife or blunt instrument, is found, and the snow has erased tire tracks or footprints. Forensic evidence is sparse. A few blue fibers on Amy's sweatshirt, possibly from a vehicle's upholstery, and a small amount of male DNA under her fingernails, too degraded for a full profile in 1989. A curtain and blanket found nearby are believed to be unrelated but are collected for testing. The Bay Village Police, a small department with no prior homicide experience, lean heavily on the FBI. The Behavioral Analysis Unit profiles the killer as a male, 30 to 40, likely local or familiar with Bay Village, with a history of predatory behavior. The abduction's boldness, daylight in a busy plaza, suggests confidence and planning. The police hypothesize Amy was lured, possibly by someone posing as a trusted figure, like a family friend or authority. Margaret reveals a chilling detail. In the weeks before her disappearance, Amy mentioned getting phone calls at home from a man asking about her school and hobbies, claiming to be a friend of her mom's. Margaret, unaware, thought it was a classmate's parent. The calls, untraceable in 1989, suggest the killer targeted Amy, possibly stalking her at the plaza or riding lessons. The investigation delves into Amy's life. The Mihaljevics are cleared early. Mark was at work, Margaret at a meeting, and Jason's timeline is verified by witnesses. Teachers and neighbors describe Amy as cautious, unlikely to talk to strangers, strengthening the targeted theory. The police interview local sex offenders, including Robert Young, a 42-year-old Bay Village resident with a prior conviction for indecent exposure. Young owns a blue van and was seen near the plaza days before, but his alibi, working at a warehouse, checks out, and no physical evidence links him. Another lead emerges from a tip about a man seen at Amy's riding stable, asking about her schedule, but he's never identified. The FBI traces the blue fibers to a common car upholstery brand, narrowing it to thousands of vehicles in Ohio, an impractical lead. The case's media coverage is relentless. The Cleveland Plain Dealer runs daily updates, while tabloids sensationalize Amy's innocence against the backdrop of a monster on the loose. America's Most Wanted re-airs her story in 1990, prompting 2,000 tips, including sightings of a girl resembling Amy in Indiana and Pennsylvania. But none are her. The Mihaljevics, overwhelmed, hire a private investigator who focuses on the Ashland County connection, interviewing farmers and truckers, but finds no witnesses to the body dump. The $25,000 reward grows to $100,000 by 1991, funded by community fundraisers, but leads dwindle as months pass. In 1997, a potential break shakes the case. An anonymous letter, postmarked from Columbus, Ohio, arrives at the Mihaljevic home stating, "I killed Amy. You'll never find me." The letter, typed on plain paper, includes details about Amy's sweatshirt design, a horse with a red mane, not widely publicized. The police analyze it for prints and DNA, but find nothing, and the Columbus postmark leads to a dead end. The letter's authenticity is debated. Some believe it's from the killer, others a cruel hoax. In 2001, a new person of interest emerges. Dean Runkle, a former Bay Village teacher in his 40s, who resembles the composite sketch and was reported for inappropriate behavior with students in the 1980s. Runkle, who moved to Akron after 1989, denies involvement, and a search of his home finds no evidence. His DNA, voluntarily provided, doesn't match the fingernail sample, and the lead fades. The case's proofless nature, no murder weapon, no clear motive, limited DNA, frustrates investigators. The FBI explores a serial killer angle, noting similarities with other child abductions, like the 1988 murder of April Tinsley in Indiana, but no connections are proven. The blue van, a recurring theme in tips, is never located, and the fingernail DNA, retested in 1995 with early PCR technology, yields only a partial profile, insufficient for CODIS. Theories proliferate. A random predator using I-90 to flee, a local with ties to Amy's school or stable, or a family acquaintance exploiting trust. Online, Reddit's Unsolved mysteries and web sleuths dissect the case, with users speculating about a cover-up, a transient trucker, or a mistaken identity abduction. A fringe theory suggests Amy's death was linked to a drug ring in Ashland County, but no evidence supports this. The Mihaljevics become tireless advocates. Margaret speaks at schools about stranger danger, while Mark funds private searches focusing on Ashland County. The Amy Mihaljevic Foundation, established in 1990, supports missing children's cases and funds safety programs, like bike lock giveaways to prevent abductions. The family's grief is profound. Margaret's health declines, and she passes away in 2001 from heart complications exacerbated by stress. Mark, now in his 60s, continues the fight, appearing on Dr. Phil in 2019. Jason, a police officer in Cleveland, channels his guilt into protecting others. Bay Village holds annual vigils, and Amy's horse, Sundance, is retired to a sanctuary, a memorial to her love of animals. The case reshapes Bay Village. Parents install alarms, and schools adopt stricter visitor policies. The shopping center, once a carefree hangout, sees fewer unaccompanied kids. Ohio's AMBER alert system, inspired partly by Amy's case, is implemented in 2003, saving countless children. Advances in forensics offer hope. In 2023, the FBI partners with Parabon Nanolabs to retest the fingernail DNA using genetic genealogy, but the sample's degradation limits matches. A 2024 search of the Ashland County field with ground-penetrating radar finds no new evidence. The $100,000 reward remains, and a 2025 Cleveland Plain Dealer report notes the case's active status, with the FBI pursuing a tip about a retired trucker in Toledo. The emotional toll is staggering. Mark tells Dateline in 2024, "Amy was our light. We'll never stop searching for her killer." Jason patrols Bay Village, haunted by that October day. The case's unanswered questions: who was the man in the plaza? Was Amy targeted or a random victim? What happened in the hours between Bay Village and Ashland County? Cement its proofless status, a wound that refuses to heal. That's all for the 13th episode of Proofless. Amy Mihaljevic's murder is a tragedy that shattered a town's innocence and left a family in perpetual grief. If you have information, contact the Bay Village Police or visit amymihaljevicfoundation.org. Share your thoughts on our website or social media, and join us next time for another journey into the unknown. Until then, keep searching for answers.